Your Global LT learner is about to begin the exciting and challenging adventure of learning a new language. Maybe your learner is moving to a new country, maybe travels frequently, or maybe is working with new clients or colleagues that require the use of another language. Whatever the reason for learning, your learner's journey can be made easier and more enjoyable with the right guide and the right tools. Global LT's blended language learning solution combines the use of a self-paced learning tool with instructor-led lessons to help learners acquire the language they need to live and work successfully anywhere in the world. As a language teacher, you have probably experienced yourself what your learner will go through. You know that learning a new language can seem overwhelmingly difficult, especially as a busy adult with endless competing priorities at work and at home. So many things can seem way more important than learning language. Fortunately, your learner's company is providing them a few great resources to make their language learning easier. Of course, the most important resource your learner has is you. Your learner will turn to you first for help and guidance in the new language. But at a time when technology and learning are almost inseparable, your learner's access to an additional resource will make both of your lives easier. A self-paced learning tool will lead to quicker progress and greater satisfaction in learning the language. Let me introduce you to Jade. Jade's a language training specialist here at Global LT. Jade's been on the language learning journey herself, both as a teacher and as a learner. She can tell you more about how a blended language learning program can help both you and your learner to have more effective and engaging lessons.
Along with their live lessons with you, your learner will have the opportunity to use a self-paced learning tool to support their practice and learning between classes. Some of you might be thinking, but if my learner has an e-learning program, will they still want to have lessons with me? If you're asking this, you're not alone. Many teachers wonder how the growing popularity of e-learning software and mobile apps will affect them and their job. As a professional English teacher myself of ESL and German, I was skeptical at first about the usefulness of a self-paced learning tool. Like many teachers, I believed that the only true way to learn a language was to work with a teacher or to live full-time with native speakers. However, over the past year, I decided to try learning Spanish with a self-paced tool. After only 6 months of practicing 30 minutes a day on my own, I confidently joined a Spanish conversation group and was pleasantly surprised that I was able to understand everything that was said. Not only that, but I was mostly able to understand others in the group, including native speakers, the minimal language that I had learned so far. It was amazing to see that I could actually understand and be understood. Imagine how much I could progress if I could learn with a one-on-one teacher while continuing to learn daily on my own and practicing regularly with the conversation group. As qualified language teachers, we know that no software or mobile app, no matter how well designed, can replace what a live teacher can give a learner: authentic language content and practice. We also know that the #1 complaint of most teachers is that learners don't complete their homework. This is too often true. But the real problem isn't about the homework. It's that learners are not practicing enough between classes to retain and reinforce the language practice in lessons. And if you ask most learners, they would say that they are not motivated to complete their homework because it is time-consuming, boring, and too often doesn't provide them with a relevant and meaningful learning experience. A self-paced tool can provide more fun and interactive way to practice and learn language. And when self-paced activities are assigned that tie into real-life language tasks your learner needs, the use of the interactive tool will motivate your learner to invest even more time in regular practice. The use of a self-paced tool will get your learner practicing more often and in a more meaningful way. Instead of completing grammar drills and memorizing vocabulary from a book, they will be improving their pronunciation and comprehension while learning contextualized vocabulary. When I was teaching German, the most successful student, those who could speak and understand the most, regularly practiced German using a self-paced tool. After the first 10 weeks of class, I could measure the difference in proficiency level between students who were using their self-paced tool compared to their peers who were not practicing between classes. When my students practiced more between classes, I didn't have to waste precious time working on boring grammar and pronunciation drills. Besides that, time in class was more fun because we were able to spend more time playing speaking games and role-playing, as well as listening to and watching authentic resources. As my learners began to hear and see results, their motivation to practice increased, and class became more enjoyable for everyone, including me. Taking advantage of a self-paced tool will not be automatic for everyone. That's where your role as the teacher becomes crucial. Although your learner may have a self-paced tool, they might not take advantage of it as a resource. They will probably give the same reasons they give for not doing their homework now. Too much work, family responsibilities, travel, etc. That's why it's very important for you, the teacher, to help your learner realize how the self-paced tool will improve their overall language learning experience, and also how you can assign the most relevant work between lessons to support the activities you want to do with them to help them use the language with you. Here are a few tips to help motivate your learner to take advantage of their new resource. Help your learner schedule practice time into their daily routine, even if it is only 5 to 10 minutes a day. As your learner begins to see improvement, the length of dedicated practice time will increase naturally. If you find your learner is hesitant to give a self-paced tool a try, challenge them to try it consistently for 1 month. If you can convince your learner to practice in their self-paced tool at least 5 days a week for 1 month, I'm sure you will both be surprised at the progress they will make in the short period of time. How does this help you? Learners who make progress are more likely to continue their lessons with you because they are seeing results and actually learning to use the language, both with you and increasingly with other native speakers. Be familiar with the content and layout of your learner's self-paced tool so you can answer questions and assist them in finding the most relevant and useful practice activities. Help your learner choose activities in their self-paced tool that will reinforce the language learned in class. Before beginning assignments in the self-paced tool, encourage your learner to understand the methodology of the tool and to learn how to use and navigate the available resources in the tool. We offer a handful of short how-to videos on our learner portal to help learners become familiar with their self-paced tool. Be sure to check in with your learner regularly to make sure they are continuing to practice. For some self-paced tools, you will be sent a monthly report showing your learner's progress. For others, you can log into the tool yourself and assign activities for them to do. You can let your learner know how you will be checking their work. This helps them remain accountable to do the work you have assigned. Of course, the best check of their progress will happen as they use things they've learned in their tool with you in increasingly challenging role plays, tasks, and conversations. How does this help you? Learners who make progress are more likely to continue their lessons with you because they are seeing results and actually learning to use the language, both with you and increasingly with other native speakers. Plus, you won't have to do in the classroom what the learner can do on their own. Good luck with your blended program, and as we say in Spanish, buena suerte.